name is Beyonce, and no, I cannot sing, but I can draw, so that's what we're going to do today. Before we start, I'm going to require a little bit of imagination from you, so pretend that I am not in an office, and I'm in a beautiful art studio, and as you can see here by this tube of paint, clearly beautiful art studio. Alright, let's get into it. So, if you've experienced anything even close to this next scene, then this is the video for you. You are not alone. Millions of other artists also suffer through other eye syndrome. It's a dangerous disease, but there is a solution. Ask your doctor about Desvideo. Desvideo has been clinically proven to alleviate the very tough symptoms of this terrible disease. It's been proven to reduce stress, make you feel like $1 million. That's right, $1 million, real medical term. After watching this video, you'll probably reach nirvana. Probably. And if you don't, you still got a great art video, and you probably learned something. So ask your doctor if Desvideo is right for you. Alright, let's go. Anatomy. So I'm a firm believer that anatomy is so crucial to any artist's journey. So I'm going to start with this like circle-y shape thing. It's supposed to be a sphere, and I'm trying not to use perfect circles. So that's your pupil, and now I'm just drawing this almond shape right now. You can see that I'm using a pink and a purple line to just show you the difference between the upper and bottom lid margins. So these are natural eyelids, and please do not put eyelashes in the bottom margin. It looks terrible. It looks creepy. It looks like the eyelashes are in your eyes. And that little orange thing is called the lacrimal carbuncle. It's also important to have this in your eyes, just anatomically correct. Okay, let's get on to it. The next thing I'm drawing is the upper eyelid, and from that upper eyelid, it kind of melts into that lid area, or lid fold area. You can see the picture here. And very important to have because the eyebrow's on top of that lid fold right there. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to add is I'm going to have like this nose crease. Alright, you can see that lid fold just kind of melting into that nose crease, going into that side of the nose, and then to the cheek. It just gives it that mwah, French kiss. It connects all your facial features. And the last thing I'm adding is that bottom eyelid. I never really draw my bottom eyelid way too dramatic. I just kind of hint at it with a little bit of like shadowing, a little bit of color, but it's important to know that it's there. So I'm just going to label everything so you can have a beautiful screenshot to study with, so you know all the good stuff: the lid fold, the eyelid margin, the upper eyelid, and the bottom eyelid, all the good stuff. Woo, that was a lot of information, am I right? But don't worry, I have a simple step-by-step tutorial for anybody who wants that, and it's on my Instagram, @ChromaticDays. So I go through all the simple shapes that you're gonna need to draw the eyes, and you can just go step-by-step at your own pace. So go check that out. Back to the tutorial. So for front-facing view, you're going to want to start with 3 circles to space your eye out correctly. Right now, I'm just connecting those upper regions right there to the nose. You can see how the nose crease kind of forms into that upper lid area that we talked about before, and it melts into the cheek. Very important. It'll save you some heartache, guys, I promise. So the next thing that I'm doing is I'm just putting the eyebrows on that upper lid area, because that's where your eyebrows go. Not too low, not too high, smack dab on that upper lid. So I'm going to pull this back in for you guys to just see it and really like get it in your brain. So you can see the bags right there. You can add some bags for flavor. All right, 3/4 view. This is by far the hardest view in my opinion to get, especially for eyes. And this is not a 3/4 tutorial, but I just want you to pay special attention to how I do the eyes. So right now I'm pulling in perspective lines. So this will save your life when you're drawing 3/4 view. When your figure is turning into the distance, you're gonna have these perspective lines that are gonna kind of convey that distant look. So you have to make sure that your face follows those lines. So your mouth should be lined up, your eyes should be lined up, and your nose should be lined up with these eyes, or you're gonna have that terrible time flipping your canvas. So right now I'm just drawing that forehead, or I'm indicating it with this orange line, and then you're gonna have those, this is my chin, cheek area. I'll show you guys how to do this guidelines in a later video, but the 3 eyes, the 3 circles space the eyes out correctly. I drew a little bit of a bump there because that is the upper lid area, and that's where the forehead is just kind of lowing into. So the nose is gonna kind of go into that upper lid area. You can see how I just put it on the top of that bump. The second eye, we're gonna call that the left eye, is kind of circular. It's not pointy because it's kind of like going into that distance. Your right eye can be pointy, and you can see how I'm kind of giving it that crease that gives it that 3D effect, just that little crease that melts into the nose right there. So something important to know is that there's a little bit of space between the eye and the cheek right there. So just add that little bit of space. That's the lid fold area. The area in green right there, that's the upper eyelid, and you're gonna have the lower eyelid and the lacrimal carbuncle. You're not gonna see the lacrimal carbuncle on that left eye because the nose covers it, so you're not gonna see any of that. It's gonzo. All right, so you guys can just screenshot this or just really take a look at it. I implore you to practice just the eyes, because if you're putting all the stuff right there, it can be a little bit confusing, but I will definitely do a 3/4 tutorial real soon because I know I went through everything really fast. All right, side view. Side view is my utmost favorite view. I think it's so easy to do, but it's so easy to get confused for beginning artists. So right now I'm just drawing those upper and lower lid margin areas, and I'm gonna go just casually go into the bottom lid and the upper lid from those areas. Super easy, super good. It kind of opens up in like this like triangle almost. Now that's that upper lid right there, and I'm just drawing the forehead and the nose so you can kind of have some like a little bit of a idea where this is going on your face. So the next thing that I'm doing is I'm just connecting all those regions together, and I'm gonna draw my eyelashes. So the eyelashes are gonna go straight forward like that. They're not gonna be like fanning out like you see in the front view because that's creepy. Upper lid, these are just all the technical terms. You can see how my iris is kind of bumpy. It's not flat. So let's get into things that bring me pain. I see it all the time. Not drawing the lacrimal carbuncle or making it way too big. This is one way too small, one way too big. You can see just creepy. This is just right. So you can see how the top of my lacrimal carbuncle lines up to that edge of the eye. Perfect. It'll save you time. Drawing the eyelashes straight up, oh, nothing frustrates me more. Okay, so that looks terrible. What you can do instead is make them curve into the eye just a little bit. Make those little loops and bring the loops out like that. The top one is going to be pointing straight up, and when you're drawing the bottom eyelashes, just put them into sets of 2, not in that eye margin, or it'll make me cry. I promise I'll cry. So let me show you some bad side views. So this is what I've seen, and it makes me cry because I used to do this. Good God. So when you're drawing a side view, do not have your eye opening up in that perspective where it's like in the front view. Oh God, it's creepy. It makes me cry. Especially, I know artists want to turn the eye, like have the eye facing like the viewer or something. The iris can move, but the eye cannot move. So you can draw it like that if you want the eye to just move that way, but don't do it the other way. The last one is art styles without style. Guys, everybody be trying to have like an art style, but they don't really understand anatomy, and so it kind of messes up. So this is a warning. Do not do art style unless you understand the anatomy, or you'll end up with this terrible drawing. Oh God, this is the drawing that I used to draw. This is how I used to draw eyes, and it looks bad because it doesn't adhere to anatomy. Let me show you why. So you can see that that corner is just so pointy. The lacrimal carbuncle is just sharp. I don't know why. And the eyebrow is so low because I didn't draw that lid area. Like, Jesus. That's garbage. That's not an anime eye. That's just not a smart eye. So good style communicates those basic structures. So when you're drawing anime eyes, you're gonna still have some of those basic structures. You're not gonna have the lacrimal carbuncle, or you can just allude to it by the shape of the eye. Your eyebrow is not gonna be too low on the eye because you're gonna have that lid fold area, and you can make your eyes cuter by just like making them a little wider and having a bigger pupil. The bigger the pupil, it just looks cuter and it just looks so much more vibrant. And here's just some basic shapes that I think are good anime eyes because they just convey what you want to do. So I'm going to just go through. Alrighty, let's get into a coloring tutorial. This is digital, but you can apply these with painting and color pencils. So I'm really just digging into my piece. I have my little brown sketch, and I'm really digging into those areas that are really dark, like in the crease between the lid area and the upper eyelid. I'm just really defining those structures. I'm also making my upper eyelid a little bit tinted because I feel like the upper eyelid should be darker than the lid area, just because the lid area is just coming out more to the viewer. So that lid area is just a little bit lighter and the upper eyelid's tinted. You can see that I'm just still adding more shadows. I'm just bringing in some lighting to just really get the skin area. So how I do the iris, I first lay in some colors in that middle area, then I come around with some dark shadows around the edges just to give that nice darkness, and then I smooth everything out a little bit, and I add this little slice of light because I think it's gorgeous, and then I make sure there's shadows on the eye. Always put your shadows on the top of your eye. It'll change your life. It'll keep your pictures from looking creepy and disgusting. It'll just French kiss. So the next thing I'm doing is eyelashes. You can see I'm pulling them up with that U method that I showed you before. I'm just smoothing everything out to get that nice bristle look. A little eyeliner never hurt. You know I love to put some makeup on my eyes. So now I'm putting my bottom eyelashes in sets of 2, and I'm not putting them in that bottom margin area because then, ugh, nasty, right? No eyelashes in your eyes. And you know, a little more shadows, some highlights, of course. And the reason I put red in the corners of the eye is because you have blood vessels there. So it gets a little bit of red. Now I'm just adding some green tints. I'm playing with my hues, adding some freckle colors and a little bit of red because, you know, everybody loves a little color. Here I am just cleaning everything up, showing you guys all the steps. So eyelashes, shadows, eyeliner, beautiful colors. And now we're going to get into a little bit of Procreate Magic. I always just put a little bit of Procreate Magic at the end. So some gorgeous greens, some nice rainbow hues. And this is what I finished up with. I was really happy with the way that rainbow light kind of dispersed. All right, thank you for watching. This is my end card. So I really want to put some of my students' work here when you guys start turning in your stuff. And if you want to be one of my students, my classes are on Google Classroom. They're full right now, but I am thinking about opening another class. And for sure, by November 28th, classes will open up for you guys to sign up once again. Thank you for watching. I hope you had a really good time.